Welcome back to another Mayor's Hour. I'm with my co-host and partner, the fellow that used to be Jack Harris. I'm not sure what he is now.
The wizard.
He is the wizard. He is absolutely the wizard of AM radio.
Or the Wizard of West Virginia.
Oh, there we go. That's even scarier.
Yes, that is.
But Jack, we're here at the David A. Straz Center for the Performing Arts. We are here in the Dr. Pallavi Patel Conservatory Arts Studio.
Yeah.
This is where the magic happens. This is where young people all across our community come to learn about the performing arts. They perform, dance, music. It is an amazing, amazing facility, and you look ridiculous. But other than that,
Where's your costume? You don't have a costume.
I got my
on.
mayor's costume on.
No, you need a top. Look at a mayor's hat.
I'm not wearing it, but I'll hold it. There we go.
He's like I am. You don't want to mess your hair up.
Yeah, that's right.
Put my wizard hat on.
You can't have a bad hair day. And the last time somebody put a hat on, it ended his presidential career. And those of you who remember Mike Dukakis in a tank.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes, indeed. Don't ever put a helmet on.
No, especially if you look like Bullwinkle. So, Jack, this is, I mean, you're wearing one of the costumes from one of the shows, Wizard of Oz, I guess.
Yeah.
And this conservatory that was largely funded as a result of the donations of the Patel family really is a special place. And we're going to hear about it. We're going to talk to some of the folks that work with the kids. And it's going to be a great show. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, this has been around, and I didn't realize it until I was talking to Leslie earlier. It's been here 10 years now, because I remember when it first opened.
Yeah, I did too.
And this is my first experience of coming in here, but they do shows here, and there are careers launched here. That's the great thing. A lot of careers have been launched right here at the Patel Conservatory.
Yeah, and we have sent young people off to Broadway, off to some of the most amazing schools in the country to learn about the performing arts. But this is where the magic starts, and it's right here in Tampa, Florida. Unfortunately, you and I have no artistic talent, so we are not candidates.
In any way, shape, or form.
Nor do any of our offspring. So stay with us. We're going to take you through this amazing center, and you're going to meet some of the really cool people that make it happen and that work with our kids. So stay tuned. Nice outfit, Jack.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's good to be the mayor. He wants you right over there. On the ground. On the ground.
Come on, help! 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Wow. Jackets will fully inflate and you're ready to enter the water.
All right, the wizard and I are back. He's back in his normal costume. We are here with Brad Casey, who is the managing director of the Patel Conservatory. Brad, welcome to the Mayor's Hour.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Where are we? There's a lot of costumes here. Tell me what's going on.
We're in the costume shop of the conservatory. This is the first floor. This is the costume shop where we do all of our wardrobe work for music and theater and dance as well. So what you're seeing behind you are the costumes for Coppelia, which we open next week. That runs May 1st and 2nd. That is danced by Next Generation Ballet, which is the pre-professional company here at the conservatory.
I've never been in a place like this before, not having been backstage in Broadway or anything like that, but there's so many costumes in here, hats of every kind. I'm sure they're doing B-roll on this, and our viewer will get a chance to look at all of this stuff. But how did you get into this business? What's your background? How did you get in such an interesting business?
Well, actually, my degree is in costume design. That's where I started back in college and undergrad. And I've done a lot of management and operating of theaters, and I've done pretty much everything in a theater except be on stage performing. So everything backstage management, operational planning and whatnot. And so this sort of thing is home for me. This is a very comfortable spot to be. But these costumes have been collected over the years. We've been here 10 years now, so we've done hundreds of shows for all the different disciplines, and then really created a working inventory here.
Now, where are you from?
I'm a Tampa native.
Oh, really?
I am. I was born and raised here. I grew up in Temple Terrace. I saw my first professional production here in Ferguson Hall the year the center opened. I saw Taming of the Shrew as a field trip show.
So tell me, when Pallavi Patel made the donation that made this happen, what was her vision? What goes on here?
What goes on here is the education of the whole community. So we are a community conservatory. We teach students for ages 3 to 80.
And adults as well.
Adults as well, all the way through. And so what we offer is community-based programs, so the open enrollment, the open access programs, as well as programs of excellence that are pre-professional training programs for students to go on in dance and theater and music to professional careers. And we have students in Broadway and dancing all over the world.
Now, obviously, you're connected to the Straz. For those who aren't aware, the Patel Conservatory is right behind the Straz, but part of the same big complex, same big building. But how are you all affiliated with them? What is the
We are
connection?
the education program of the Straz Center. We're just part of the Straz Center. I'm a Straz Center employee, and all of us here are working together. And one of the benefits of being attached to such a large performing arts center is all the shows that come through. We get to do a lot of outreach stuff with those people. A lot of master classes and special opportunities. Adrienne Barbeau, who was here for Pippin, who was originally in Fiddler with Bette Midler, ended up coming in and talking to our Fiddler cast, which we're running in April.
So the young kids get exposed to world-class actors, actresses, performers, dancers?
Yes, our students here do, and then we also take them out in the community. We do outreach programs with those students and master classes with performers who we bring in at Blake and at the Firehouse and Valrico and Ruskin and
You
places.
teach firemen how to dance?
No, Firehouse is an art center.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I was just checking there. That would not end so well. Okay.
No, little kids
Okay,
usually, and
all
it's
right,
dancing and
all right.
drumming a lot over there. So yeah, but it's we do a lot of great stuff that we get opportunities here that you just don't have anywhere else because we do.
I can imagine.
The Straz Center does 800 shows a year, 800 curtains a year.
So
it's-
what's a typical curriculum for a child who comes to the conservatory?
So most of our students tend to focus in a single discipline. We have several that cross over as well. And so they can come here at whatever level they start and start at that level and build through a level of excellence with a level curriculum. It's going to take them from step to step and prepare them for the next level of whatever it is they're doing. So for our dance program, we have the Patel Conservatory Youth Ballet, which is the official school of Next Generation Ballet, which is our pre-professional program here. And so NGB is Next Generation is who is dancing Coppelia and Nutcracker, and those are students 14 to 18 performing on Morsani Hall or on Ferguson in a professional production and dancing the lead roles and doing an outstanding job. And then those students get those opportunities. They go from here to Boston Ballet or American Ballet Theater or School of American Ballet, and they're able to shine at world-renowned programs and are still recognized as Patel Conservatory students.
There were auditions that were done around the world, and a large number of the young people from here ended up going there and were a part of all of that, which was pretty stunning when you had auditions, I think she said in Rome, Tokyo, all over the world.
Yeah.
And we ended up with a pretty significant number from here.
Yeah, for the largest ballet competition in the world, or most prestigious, is the Prix de Lausanne. And with 2 of the 7 students, there were 7 males that went from the United States. 2 of them were ours,
Wow, that's great.
That's remarkable.
and one of them made it to the top 10. So it was
we're
incredible.
in the 19th largest market in the country, and had to compete with New York, Chicago, LA, and all those places.
Can they wear Tampa on their outfit?
He loved that.
It has
like
just
a-
a
like
little tiny logo, but it doesn't say Tampa. We can work on
like
that.
a
for you.
NASCAR. You know, we got to put Tampa.
That's it. More stickers.
Yeah,
To plug
Mayor
it
Bob
like
Buckhorn
that.
on the back. There you go. I'll pay.
If you're going to sponsor, I'm sure we can work that deal out.
So how do the kids get selected? They apply?
They apply, they audition. If they've got the passion and interest to do it, we'll usually make it happen. So we are a tuition-based program, but we offer a little more than $300,000 a year in scholarships.
That's great.
So students who want to come here have the opportunity to come at whatever level they can afford, and we can scholarship them in so they can have the opportunity to train and learn and grow here at the conservatory.
How is that all funded?
It's funded by the larger operation of the Straz Center. The Straz Center has a dynamic development department, and we're great community partners who help support us, individuals and corporations and foundations, as well as government. And we're able to use all of those resources to help support it. And we also have a fairly robust endowment that helps support our scholarship program.
And
Here.
you also don't you all do performances that are separate from the Straz, that you have your own productions
We
here
do. We
at
do
the
our,
Patel
we do our own
Conservatory.
producing here. We just did Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah.
In the month of April was our big theater production with elementary or middle, high school, and adults all the way through in that show. And we did a stellar performance here in the Zico Theater, which you'll move next into. And we'll do our ballet production. It'll be in Ferguson Hall. That's Coppelia. And it's an exciting production. It's a full-length storybook ballet produced by and danced entirely by students. So it's produced by our staff and our professionals and then danced entirely by our next generation ballet students.
And how about the adults? What are the opportunities for adults here?
We offer adult programming in music, theater, and dance. And so they have the opportunity to both participate as class level and also perform. So we often have adults in Nutcracker playing some of the character roles, because most adults still can't maintain the dance perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, even dancers, once they get to a certain age, can't really do that. But there's a lot of fun roles in those shows. For Coppelia, there's a couple of extra opportunities for adults to perform as well that are character and fun. And then in Fiddler, of course, we've got lots of adults, and that happens in all of our productions. We have that opportunity. And then we do recitals and things too, so they can get on stage in front of their friends.
This must be a pretty good place to be have a gig as an instructor too. How many instructors do you have, and how do they get to that level?
The Conservatory employs about 170 people a year, as instructors and staff and contractors working on productions, and they get those gigs by basically auditioning. They have to sell us on their credentials and filling in need.
people work here in
just the Conservatory.
The Patel Conservatory. I was never aware that is that big. That's a big employer, really, when you look at it that way.
Yeah, it's a really robust program here, and so we've got a lot of opportunity, a lot of activity going on to support all of that. The Conservatory will do 42 productions this year. So just the Conservatory,
not the Strauss,
not the Strauss Center. Between fully produced productions and recitals, it's 42 shows a year.
But I'm guessing you've got jobs for people like working in here and having to. Do you make the costumes in here, or are they made and brought in here? Or
it depends on the show. What? So a show like Coppelia, we actually this production came from Sarasota Ballet originally, and we're borrowing it from them, like most ballet, and then we will tailor it and alter it to fit. Our Nutcracker production came actually from Ballet Omaha, but was designed by a professor from Yale, and was $1 million production that we bought and brought in-house, and have been tweaking and fixing to make it fit our students and make it fit the production. But our main stage shows, Fiddler on the Roof, the costume designer created all of those.
You know, as mayor, I have to tap dance a lot. Do you think there's a future for me as a dance instructor?
I think there's an opportunity as a dancer. I think instructor
no.
maybe a little scary.
No. I haven't danced since my wedding night, because that's when I stopped having to.
This guy is pretty good at the tap dance.
I bet he is. Well, and I would say probably in front of all those students, I'm not sure you'd want them to judge your tap.
No.
It'd be much more fun in front of an adult audience.
Yeah, who has no talent either.
Right.
So what's the future of the Patel Conservatory?
The future of the Conservatory is strong. We're continuing to grow. We grow at 10 to 15% a year. Our programs are bursting at the seams here at the Conservatory. This is a 40,000 square foot building built for arts education, and we're already, in 10 years, we're already busting out.
Do you have room to grow on the site?
There's a little bit of room. We just announced the master plan process that was in the paper, and so we are right now looking at where we can put those facilities and where we can squeeze them onto the campus. The Strauss Center is a really large campus, but it's already pretty well built out. So building around and in and repurposing and things like that. So we'll find the space because the programs will need it, and we don't want to constrain the growth and stop serving the community. So instead, we can expand our space and expand our programs and really serve the needs that we're already seeing as a demand.
One of my daughters went here for a summer camp, and she loved it.
It would have to be a fabulous summer camp.
And we do a lot of summer camps. So we have about 1,500 students enrolled here each year, about half of those in the summer. 250 of those are ballet students for our senior intensive, and they come from around the world.
I was going to say, do you bring people in from outside the Bay Area?
We do. For ballet, for the classes, we do. And then for teaching, yes. We'll have a lot of guest artists come over the summer. And for ballet, the intensive, they'll stay across the street in the Barrymore as a dorm for 5 weeks.
That's worked out nicely. The fact that they have remodeled this and redone it, and it's become a new hotel and everything.
Yeah, it's really convenient that it's right across the street, and they're able to work with us, and we're able to secure floors and make it safe for our students. And really use the facility, and eventually UT will build enough dorms that we can put them over there. But for now,
so you do have connections with UT as well, huh?
We do. We work with the University of Tampa as well as the University of South Florida, HCC, and we have a really robust partnership with Hillsborough County Public Schools as well.
And I would imagine, and we got to wrap up in a second, but having Blake right across the river, as a magnet performing arts school.
It's a great opportunity for us to have their students, and then we're able to take a lot of programming over there. Yeah. We took Savian Glover this year. We took Black Violin when they were in town, and they're able to interact with those students and do master classes and work with them in a way that is unusual to have that opportunity.
All right, Brad, we're going to wrap up. We're going to see some more amazing stuff here at this facility. Stay with us. Brad, thanks. Keep up the good work. Don't let him dance.
No way.
Do not let him perform at all.
I think so.
That's about what it looks like. That's the West Virginia version of the Nutcracker. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Jack, we're back for another segment. We got out of our costumes. Got you out
You're
of your...
still in your mayor's costume.
I am in my mayor's costume.
And with that tie, you can't take that tie off.
No, never
He
take that tie
sleeps with it.
That's true. But we are here with someone way more talented than you and I, Suzanne Lifesay, and she is the theater chair.
Yes.
Okay, at the Patel Conservatory.
And we're on the stage.
We are on
here,
a stage, absolutely. We're on a stage of Fiddler on the Roof, right?
Yes, correct.
All right, see, we're moving. We're going to Broadway, Jack. There's hope.
As we were setting up here, we were told that this stage or the set was built by students at Blake High School under the direction, of course, your people here.
Yes, yes. Our set designer designed it, and then our construction person kind of figured out exactly how it needed to be built, but then she utilized her students at Blake High School to build it.
Oh, what a great opportunity for them. That being, for those that aren't aware, that's a magnet school for performing arts and everything.
Right across the Hillsborough River from the Strass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do? What does your day consist of?
Everything. I administrate theatrical activities here at the Patel, and then I also do some teaching. So I teach a musical theater class on Thursday evenings, and I also directed Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh, you directed it?
yes. Yes.
That had to be a hoot. I mean,
It's been incredible.
Now,
It's
did
been
you
a
come
great
up as a
experience.
performer that moved to the directing side
Yes,
of the
I
equation?
grew up in Pinellas County and had a great high school theater experience over there, and then went into performing musical theater degree in college at Stetson University up in DeLand, and then was backstage at Disney, and someone was leaving a teaching position and asked me if I was interested in taking it, and that's where I got my start directing
what were
and
you
teaching.
doing backstage at Disney, just out of curiosity?
I was a performer at Disney and ran into my accompanist from college, and he was going to be working there full time. So,
And what were you performing as?
it was actually a place in Epcot called Innoventions that is still there, but they actually
Yeah.
had some performer opportunities there.
So you weren't Mickey or Minnie or any
No,
of those?
I'm too tall for those.
You didn't have to wear a
You
costume.
could be one of those princesses, you know.
Thank you.
See?
Could you go tell them that?
I'd be happy to. My daughters love those princesses.
Oh, yeah. Princesses are very popular
Yeah.
over there. But and so you had just background experience coming into this, and then came in here, and you've kind of moved up here.
Yes, yeah. Taught for about 15 years in high school theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In Pinellas County? Or?
Actually Orange, up
Okay.
in Orlando, and then also out in the Denver area. So that's where I cut my teeth, getting to learn how to direct high school kids.
So we saw what Brad does and that whole world.
Yeah.
What is your world? I mean, Where are we? This is the Tico Theater?
Absolutely, yes. This is our main facility for the Patel, where we do most of our performances. Some classes have taken place in here as well. And we coordinate the teaching that's going to occur, so whether it's a faculty member of mine or an adjunct teaching artist that would come in and teach a class, people like Eugenie Bondurant, who is going to be in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
It's Paul Wilborn's wife.
Right.
Yes, exactly. And so she teaches our on-camera classes, so she'll be in Mockingjay in November. So she's just such a pro and knows the business inside and out. So she'll come in and teach on camera. I'm not on camera. I'm musical theater all the way. So I get to utilize these people in their specialties and put them with the students and allow them to learn under some of the best people in the area.
And I guess you have a lot of students that don't want to perform, that have always wanted to be in behind the scenes positions, anything from directing to stage sets, things like that. I know my son was involved with in high school in plays and everything, but he didn't want to act. He didn't want to go on stage. He wanted to be backstage.
We call that the dark side.
The dark side. I think I heard him use that.
And we have a couple of students, both from Tampa Prep and Blake, that are running our spotlights for this production.
Wow.
And they simply came in and said, we'd like to learn under you all. And so they're learning under our lighting designers. They're following the calls. They're following the cues just as they're called by a professional stage manager. Great opportunities. So we have an apprenticeship program here that high school students simply need to apply, and we find spots for them. We'll have about a dozen apprentices working with us this summer.
And that's more on the technical side?
Yes, precisely.
Are there classes for sort of the business of the arts?
Well, our boss would love to be offering that, and I think down the line we'll be offering that, but Eugenie also wanted to do a business of the biz class, and that may be incorporated into probably a workshop format in the fall.
And this is where, I guess, careers are launched. This is where they begin, right here in this room. And again, most people aren't aware that this theater is even back here. We all know about the theaters up front in the Straz. But how many people does this hold?
This one will seat about 200 at the most. And so I think we're going in at about 175 because of the nature of our set for Fiddler on the Roof.
And how do people learn about it? I mean, I've seen, I guess, publicity on the Patel Conservatory is doing this, but I sort of thought it would be in one of the theaters outside or from the Straz.
I see. Yeah, if you go to the Patel Conservatory website, and that's going to have all of our information. Our tickets, you actually purchase them just like you would a Straz Center ticket. So it pops up when you go to the Straz website and look it up. So
this is where all the parents have to pay to come watch their little darlings, like I did. Come and perform.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But we're not dragging it out of their hands. They're very happily because they're so excited to see them. Yeah.
My daughter, it was not here. It would never have happened here. She was in a performance one time, and part of her role was to put her hand behind her head like that, which she did for the entire performance. Never moved, put her hand up there behind her head, and that was it. That's exactly what. So we're looking at her for like 20 minutes with her hand behind her head, and all the rest of the kids are doing their thing.
That's what they told her to do, right?
She follows directions.
She follows directions very, very well.
Yeah, we still tease her about that.
Yeah, but what are some of the shows that you've got coming up, say, this summer?
Yes, absolutely. We have, we're doing a real short version of Romeo and Juliet, which will take place in the Jabe. And that's going to be a week-and-a-half camp at the beginning of the summer.
The Jabe is another theater
around. Yeah, there's a lot to keep track of here.
Yeah. Yes.
So we'll do that at the start of the summer, and we'll also do Aladdin Junior with our middle schoolers, 2nd through 6th grade. And that's kind of a junior version of the film Aladdin and the Broadway show that's on that was running, and it's a little shorter version, so we'll do that with those kids. And then we'll also be doing Shrek, the full-length musical.
Wow. For what age groups?
That is for 7th grade on up through college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's going to take place here in the Tico as well.
And we're heading into the summer. I mean, this will air next month, so where would parents go to sign up their kids for the summer programs?
Once again, the Patel Conservatory website, and we have auditions at the beginning of May and at the end of May.
That's important, so you have to audition.
You do have to audition for those productions.
Okay. So we're toast.
Forget it. My whiz costume is all passé now.
Yes.
And our last thing is a review called Showstoppers, which will be at the end of the summer. And we set it up so that if students want to spend their whole summer at the Patel, they can. They can also take a musical theater class if they just want to do a week. They can do that as well. So we have a lot of offerings this summer, but those are our main productions we'll be doing.
And what do you think if you had the capacity you could do in terms of numbers of kids that would come through this?
Wow. If we had the capacity as far as space, golly, thousands essentially. If we had the space, and that's where we are. We're just kind of busting at the seams. I'm not sure if Brad covered that with you, but it's one of those things where every room is being utilized. Pretty much every minute we can utilize it. So within what we'll do this summer, we'll have 350 kids that'll be involved with some of the things that we're involved in, just specifically for theater. That's not dance and that's not music. That's just for theater.
Well,
do you have intern programs and volunteer programs, people who just want to get involved with an eye perhaps for
theater,
getting more involved in it down the road?
Yes, absolutely. We actually have 4 interns that will be working with us this summer, and they're from all over the country, which is really great. And then we also have volunteer opportunities throughout the Straz, but also here. Like if someone was very good with makeup when they did high school theater or college theater, and they just want that outlet again, we can certainly utilize them in what we do here. So we have a great volunteer base here at the Straz, and we get that information, and then we disperse it to the people that need it here to utilize those adults that want to participate in that way.
That's great. You heard her. Get signed up, go to the Straz website, get your kids involved. An amazing program.
Oh, wow.
If you'd like to make a big donation to the Straz, we encourage that as well, so we can expand the capacity to have more kids here, right, Jack?
Yep. This is an amazing, and it's not the best kept secret because obviously an awful lot of people know about it, but there are a lot of people who are going to be watching this that aren't aware of what an amazing place this is and what all happens here.
Yeah. The magic happens. Sign up, get your kids signed up, come perform on Fiddler on the Roof, and we'll see you at the next segment. Thanks. Thanks, Suzanne.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, do that again. That was good.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Hey, it's Ava, and this is Tess from Vivo's Do It Yourselfie, where we recreate the hottest looks from today's biggest music videos.
After cleaning out our closet, we have a lot of clothes we don't wear anymore.
Like this old t-shirt.
It's not garbage, it's actually a brand new rug.
And to make it, all you need to do is cut, tie, and glue.
Cut the t-shirt into strips.
Tie the strips into knots.
And glue the knots to the bath mat. I love it. Give your garbage another life.
And recycle.
We are back with probably one of the most important people around here, and this is the woman that runs all of the community outreach programs that gets the message of the Patel out to the world, probably is involved in recruiting some of the young talent, the young students to come here and be exposed to this. Probably a lot of these kids have never gone outside of their block, and so to be exposed to this world, Jack, is really a phenomenal experience. This is Tina James. She is and I happen to know Tina. We have a relationship, so to speak. It's okay, honey. And my wife knows all about it. So it's good. Yes,
Professional.
yes.
It's all professional.
She is a member of one of my favorite organizations, the Sisters of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. So all the Deltas out there, I'm taking care of one of your sorors, so be with us. But Tina, thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Absolutely, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
And I just realized during the break there, we're standing on the roof. I found out we're standing on the roof.
The Fiddler's Roof.
Tina was saying how difficult it is in high heels to get on the roof.
Have to make sure you brace yourself so you don't go tumbling over.
So what do you do?
So
You got a great job.
I love my job. I'm the community programs manager for the Patel Conservatory. So it's my job to get the word out in the community about the conservatory. So we have over 25 partnerships with area nonprofit organizations, schools like Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers Big Sisters, over 13 Hillsborough County schools, including Blake, all the art schools, BC Graham Elementary. So my job is to give those students opportunities that they would never have in the performing arts. So we send out our teaching artists, some of those that work in dance, music, and theater, out to these different organizations, and they provide them a one-of-a-lifetime partnership opportunity. So whether at Metropolitan Ministries Partnership School, we teach dance as part of their PE credit. So Ashley Hilton goes out once a week, and each student, based on their grade level, will get 35 minutes of ballet every Thursday.
With Metropolitan Ministries?
Yeah, at the partnership school.
They have a school there,
yeah.
So she provides ballet 35 minutes a week for each of the kids based on their grade levels. And then at the end of the year, right here in Tico Theater, they get to have their showcase so their parents and teachers can see what they've learned the entire year. So our goal is the 360 approach. So we go out in the community, we work with these kids at these different organizations, and then we scholarship them in here to the conservatory during the summer. And then we also give their families opportunities to come and see shows. So not here at the conservatory, but also at the Strass Center. So it's a great opportunity for a bunch of people in the community.
Jack, can you imagine a child, who may live in one of the tougher parts of our city, who really has never had the opportunity to be exposed to anything like this, to be selected, to be included, to be involved, and to come here and experience the training of world-class talent, but then have the opportunity to be in this magnificent building, to be in downtown, to see the river, to interact with adults. I mean, it really is a transforming moment in those kids' lives, I would imagine, Tam.
Yes.
Absolutely. We reach over 73,000 people in our outreach program, our education program. So that ranges from our We Folk Kid Time series, our field trip performances. The thespians come here every year. There's over 8,000 thespians that come, invade Tampa, downtown Tampa.
Field trips, you all actually take the show on the road with them?
A mixture. So we have a series of shows where students can actually have the opportunity to come here to the Strass Center. So they go to Ferguson Hall or Morsani Hall. Most of the time, this is their first opportunity to come to the center. So they're actually field trips that happen here. And the great part about working at the Strass and all that we offer, we have wonderful guest artists that actually come in when they're here performing, like Black Violin, Renee Marie, Mom and Chance. Those organizations, I get the privilege and the opportunity and the honor to take them out to the schools and out to see our students in the community. So Black Violin was here earlier this year. They had 2 sold-out performances, and I had the honor of taking them to Academy Prep. I had the honor of taking them to Progress Village. For those students that are actually in the arts, to have the opportunity to have that conversation, that one-on-one relationship, to the opportunity to touch and feel and ask questions of people that they look up to, you can't ask for a better opportunity.
So what's your background? How did you marry your passion for the community with the arts?
Well, I actually grew up as a dancer. I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida, and I danced with Ballet Florida. And my first actually touring opportunity was here at the Strass Center, back when it was the Tampa Bay Performing Arts Center.
Right.
And I performed in Nutcracker for the first 2 to 3 years when we toured out of Ballet Florida.
Wow.
So to come back here and work here at the center is an amazing opportunity. Graduated from USF. I started there as a dance major my first 2 years, and kind of decided that I was more interested in community relations and mass communications. So I got my degree in mass comm, but still had the connection to the arts. So having the opportunity to work here.
And you married those two with mass comm.
Yeah, with mass comm
and your interest in the arts.
Absolutely.
Do you still train? Do you still work out?
Not as much as I would like to, but when I first started working here, I loved the opportunity to be able to leave work and go upstairs and take a dance class and kind of like relax and connect. But then you'll see a little bit later, once you see the students up in that classroom and how talented they are, you start to shy away. And you learn where your place is.
Can't run with the big dogs anymore.
Right, and you learn where your place is in the office, and then you just do what you can do to support them in our programs.
And
that's exciting.
Do you ever long to get back in as a performer again when you see all of this going on here?
I love the opportunity to sit down in the rehearsals and see the performances, and especially to see how the students have grown. Suzanne mentioned earlier about our summer camp programs. So to see how students come in that first week, they're shy, they're green-eyed, not really knowing what they're doing or how they're doing it. And then by the end of the week or by the end of the 3 weeks, just to see how they've completely blossomed and grown. And those are the things that we see throughout our outreaches. So we'll go to a Boys and Girls Club, and and the students are shy. They're not necessarily interested in theater. But once they get a taste of it and see all the opportunities that it provides them, theater is amazing. It gives you confidence. It builds self-esteem. It helps with teamwork, collaboration, and just to see how far the students come after a short 8 weeks, it's amazing. So just to have that opportunity.
And when you see these kids, I mean, do you look at some of them and say, this person has a career, this person is going to be outstanding? I mean, to see some budding, real great talent there, I guess.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that I definitely charge all of our teachers with. So once they're out at these schools or these different organizations, if you identify a student that may have the gift or may just have the interest or they're excited about it, let me know, and then I'll follow up with the school and the parents, because we have a great development team. We're a nonprofit organization, so we raise tons and thousands of dollars for scholarship opportunities. So it's my goal to make sure that those students kind of continue the excitement and continue their dreams. So I reach out to the schools, I reach out to the parents, encourage them to apply for our financial aid and our scholarship program. And our goal is to get them ingrained in our community so they continue to learn and grow and have that freedom of expression that the arts provides us.
So people can get involved either full-time or part-time or the summer programs and everything.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities. There's more than one way to get into the center and get into the conservatory.
And again, we're talking about kids, well, families watching or parents that are watching. We have kids that could be dancers or actors or behind-the-scenes people
or singers.
Singing and
play instruments. So yeah, we have
even
tons of
musicians.
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
And you all have a lot of musicians that come here?
We do. We have, in our conservatory program, I think we have close to like 8 rock bands. They
Really?
perform. Yeah, they perform. They have a concert on the river. They had their last concert at Skipper Smokehouse up by USF. And the students, they come in and they learn like cover songs. They become cover bands.
I had a buddy who was 50 years old who decided he wanted to be Mick Jagger and came here. It didn't work.
Well, he's too young now for Mick Jagger.
But he had a blast. I mean, you know.
And it's a great opportunity for families or groups of kids to kind of get that experience, and they can bond together through their own band. And they get to learn music, they get to read music, get to learn how to sight read, which are all tangible things that, you know, employers in the 21st century, they're looking for creativity, they're looking for collaboration. And that's great stuff that you can learn here at the Conservatory.
They're not looking for old guys who want to be Mick Jagger.
You never know. You never know. There's an opportunity for everybody.
Oh, yeah, it was pathetic. All right, thanks.
You're so welcome.
You make the magic happen here. Again, if you want to be a part of it, the Patel could use your help. Every one of those little kids' lives that you touch can make a difference. So stay with us. We'll be right back, and it's good to see you as always.
Good to see you too.
Yeah,
Thanks, Tina.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Jack, we're back, and now we actually get to see one of the young students here, one of the budding ballet stars. We are here with the ballet mistress, Yvonne Lemus, and we are here with one of her students, one of Tampa's products that we are very, very proud of, Tessa Hartman. So, you know, one of the things most people don't realize is that Patel is a model now for how these conservatories should be built, how they should be run all over the country. When they first built this, there was no model. So they had to create it basically out of whole cloth, and they created what has become the model for the nation. And you are what makes Tampa proud. So there's some amazing things going on in your life. So ballet mistress, tell us about your student.
where I met Tisa 3 years ago when she would come here for the summer intensive after the first time, and absolutely at the same, by the first time that I saw her, we connected, me and my director, and say we have to put this talent into this school. So Tisa is one of our great students right now, higher level advanced. Tisa came from New York 1 week ago from the final. She placed in the final of YAGP. YAGP is like international, the first international long competition in America. And Tisa was one of the people that get into the final round.
I heard, and again, in talking to Leslie Farrell, that there were 3,000 around the world, Rome, Tokyo, all over the world, that tried to get into that. And it was narrowed down to 300 around the world.
So that's why
and 14 were from here, and she was one.
Exactly.
Now, Frank, we have to stand like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got.
See, I want you to notice how they stand. You do that.
You better.
Okay.
I got a cramp just trying to stand on my toes that way. I don't think I can.
It's funny. It is so natural for these ladies to just stand there, and
I can't get.
I know. We would have to have arthroscopic surgery if we did
It's
this.
a training that these kids doing every single day, six days a week, for 6 to 8 hours a day.
Goodness gracious.
So like professional, that's why we have to say thank you to Mr. Peter Starr when he created the Next Generation Ballet pre-professional program. Oh my God!
I think my feet
Well,
are
maybe
stuck.
we can do this fourth swan from Swan
Yeah,
Lake.
you
We
too,
can
you too,
cross this and go, and we cross the arm.
I'm done. All right, so she's training. Now, you're a freshman in high school. How do you find the time to train this hard? I can't get my daughters to swim as much as they're supposed
It's really hard to find time to manage both school and dance equally.
Because your school's a pretty academically rigorous
Yes.
school.
So it's a lot of late nights doing homework and on the weekends doing homework.
And so when do you train? What are your hours of training?
From about noon to anywhere to 6 to 8 p.m.
Wow.
Noon?
Yes.
That's almost like a full-time job.
That's the mission of Next Generation Ballet. This is a professional program that we hire these kids as a stepping stone school to the next level. So to the next level would be like an advanced school affiliated with company, and when you work in company, the ballet art form, when you get into the company, it's like a regular job. You have to work for 8 to sometimes 12 hours, depend the day that you have shows in the theater. So we're training them at their young age to commitment to get that goal in their future.
And how do the students in the U.S. compare with the rest of the world?
That's it. We can talk all day about that. It's a challenge for them because if you go to Russia and you go to Royal Ballet or France or Cuba, that they come from Cuba, they pick kids at the age of 9 years old.
Wow.
They come to the class 2 hours a day, technique class for 5 days a week. In America, the challenge is you get this beautiful talent at the age of 12 or 13, so they are behind. So in a short time, you have to make them, push them as soon as possible, balancing everything, academic, training, normal life, because these kids have their life different to the people outside. And they need, have time with the family that support them all the time to be here. So it's a challenge because in a short time, Next Generation Ballet is creating to have them 2 to 4 years, the good talent that have the real ability to get into the field in the future. So in 4 years, you have to push them. Tisa, as example, she get a full scholarship for the year around with American Ballet Theater.
Wow.
Next year.
Now, are there scholarships available to college for ballet?
Yes.
Yes.
That's interesting.
And where do you hope to go? I mean, obviously you want to do that as a career, so where do you hope to go?
After I finish my training here at NGV, I would like to go to a bigger school, maybe somewhere in Europe or somewhere around the country, and then from there join a company.
Wow.
And what is interesting right now is like our kids that get a scholarship, more of them go to Europe. They have they open the vision to get into Europe. We have kids in Royal Ballet School in London, and we have kids in Hamburg Ballet in Germany, Stuttgart in Germany. So.
And where did you start training as a young girl?
I started at a small dance studio that wasn't really focused on ballet, but I wanted more, so I came here for a summer, and I just stayed.
Wow.
And how did you select ballet? I mean, just in the dance studio, you said they were focused on other kinds.
I realized it was something that I really liked and something that I just really enjoyed doing, and it was just, I felt connected with it.
And what would you hope, as you looked at your career path, where would you like to end up? I mean, what would be your ultimate desire as obviously a very accomplished dancer that you are?
I would like to hopefully go on to a bigger school in Europe, maybe Royal Ballet in London.
But I mean, ultimately, after all of the training and everything is over in your career?
To definitely join a company would be my main
And dance professionally? So you obviously are a gifted athlete.
Thank you.
You've chosen a different path than most teenage girls. Do you roll your eyes at your dad?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to get that on the record that my kids are not the only ones that do it to me. So your life is a little bit different than most of your peers. You know, they want to party, they spend all the day doing this, and Facebook, and you know, what's that other one that?
Well, Instagram.
Instagram and Snapchat.
Snapchat.
You don't do any of that, do you?
No, I do
Good.
normal things.
Okay. But you choose a different path. So when they're out there partying and doing their thing, you're in here training.
Yeah.
And that's something that you chose to do, that you understand the direction this is going to take you, and you've made that choice.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
6 and 7 hours a day of training, and this is the first time I've ever been in a dance studio like this. I mean, I've seen them in movies and pictures, and the feet going up on the whatever you call the bars there, and that kind of thing. But this is where it all happens. This is where these people learn to do that kind of thing. That's exciting. What was it like to be one of 14 out of 300 chosen out of the 5,000 that they began with? Your experience in going to New York and participating in that?
It was really exciting to be able to go to New York for the finals for Youth American Grand Prix. It was really humbling to see all the other amazing dancers that were there, and it was just overall a really good experience.
And just being with them and, of course, relating to them, and everyone having the same ambitions to ultimately be professional dancers there.
Yeah, it was really motivating to be there.
Can you wear Tampa on your outfit the next time?
He's trying to get it like NASCAR.
Yeah.
You guys, when you go out and you represent the city like that.
We can get it on your back or your arms or something. Well, you're our ambassador. You're making the Patel proud. You're making Tampa proud. I know you're making your parents proud, so you keep doing what you're doing. We're going to watch you dance in just a little bit. Stay with us, and we're going to watch this amazing young woman do what she does along with some of her peers. Jack and I are going to do what we do, which is sit down, and stay with us. We'll be right back.
Listen to music, plie, plie. Can we incline more, a little bit more deep? Hold, 7, allonge, 8. Better that circle, don't move the circle to the right. Run quick, run quick. Up, up. Smiling, incline a little bit more to the left. Point your toes, stretch your knee. Smiling. Point your toes back, turn out. Assemble together. Deep along your back. Almost cambre, almost cambre. There it is. Bouncing that balance. Up. Raise the leg. Big jump. Hold you back in arabesque. Katerina, go by the center by yourself. Stay in the center. Grandpa, mom back. and 7 and 8. Up, up. Smiling, don't lose the energy. Arm front for pirouette, stomach in. Up. Hold your landing. Distance, keep the distance. And up. When you finish, do a pause. Higher leg balance, big jump, túyete. So, cross your leg, cross your leg, cross your leg, cross your leg. Back knee do pas de bourrée. Make a pause behind, Hannah. Go, good pie back. Together. Pause. Pause, 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 pause. Up. And a bow. And a up. And relax. Good. Much better.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly. Tiana gave her pet the royal treatment. Belle found beauty where no one else did. And you can too. Share your heart. Share your love. Bring home your forever friend. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Jack, that was amazing. Those young women were unbelievable.
And most people just aren't aware that this Patel Conservatory is here. They may have heard the term Patel Conservatory, but they're not aware of how extensive it is, how broad it is, and how many people it encompasses here. We're so familiar with the Straz and the theaters at the Straz and what happens there, but in the back of the building, it's almost a hidden gem here with the Patel Conservatory.
Well, I think it's probably safe to say that, you know, the performers that we see on the stages of the Straz started in places like this.
Yeah.
And so the next generation of performers will be some of the young students that came out of here, and to know that, you know, thousands of young people have been trained here, have gone to summer camp here, have found their passion here, just like those young girls. Now they're at a different level, because they are absolutely committed to the ballet and to being a great ballerina. But there's a lot of opportunities for young children who may not get to that level, but could develop a lot of other skills here as well, with the great training that they get.
And you talk to them off camera and everything, and they're from all over the country.
Yeah, that was fascinating. There were only, out of maybe the 12 or 13, there were only 4 that were native to Tampa. The others came here to train at the Patel Conservatory.
One from California,
yeah,
from
all over the
Tennessee,
country.
Alabama. Yeah. And the other thing that was pointed out to us is this is the model for this kind of thing happening around. This was the first. And when this was developed, the Patel Conservatory, there was nobody they'd go to and say, we need one of those like they have in Atlanta or like they have in New York. This was the first, and now Atlanta's saying we need one of those places like they have in Tampa or somewhere around the country. They're saying that now.
Speaking of young women, although they were a little bit older, we just completed another great event here in Tampa. It was the NCAA Women's Final Four National Championship. Connecticut, South Carolina, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, and who was the last one?
Let's see. I keep thinking Wisconsin, but that's the men.
Yeah.
It was.
We said it was South Carolina, Connecticut, Notre Dame,
UConn, Notre Dame. I've forgotten.
Anyway,
we're going to hear about this.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, from all the alumni of the school that we couldn't remember. I feel like Rick Perry. What's that? A third agency that I'm going to. But I went to the semis. I went to the finals. It was amazing. The teams had a blast. The young athletes had a blast. The coaches loved it. NCAA loved it. Tampa once again rose to the occasion and put on an amazing show. They love being here. They're coming back again in 19.
Yeah.
Next year we host the Frozen Four, the NCAA hockey.
That's amazing, too, that we have the Frozen Four, and there were no hockey programs around here. I think, do we still have to get Alabama, I think, to be
to give us permission to host it like south of the Mason-Dixon or south of Alabama.
Because there just aren't any college hockey programs around here. It's huge up in the north and the Midwest. But in order to host the Frozen Four, you have to get a host team.
Maryland.
Maryland is the other one, okay.
But yeah, you're right. So we're hosting that next year. But it once again demonstrated what a great job that we do hosting these big major events. Every athlete that I talked to, every coach I talked to said that this was the best time that they had ever had. You know, the city looked great. Rob Higgins at the Sports Commission did an amazing job. Santiago Carrata at Visit Tampa Bay. Everyone did their part, and we just knocked it out of the park.
And the fact is, when you consider our size and everything else, the fact that we've had the Republican National Convention and Bollywood and the Final Four for the women, if we had the facility, we'd have the men's Final Four, undoubtedly.
We would. And the Riverwalk was open in time for it, so I would see a lot of the fans walking, a lot of tall, athletic women. I mean, it was amazing to watch, and that UConn team is dominant. They are really dominant.
They will be for years to come.
Yes, they
That's
are.
Just the center of the universe when it comes to women's basketball. And
it was great because I got to take my daughters to the games, and they got to see powerful women athletes performing at the highest level in the biggest games of their career and doing it with grace and dignity and athleticism. And it was just wonderful, just like watching these young girls and thinking about them 10 years from now, where they'll be in their careers.
Yep.
So stick around. Another great show. Come on down to the Patel Conservatory, enroll your kids, make a donation. The stars of tomorrow are right here at the Patel Conservatory.
And one good thing, we did not have one keeping us on our toes joke while we were watching this thing.
Yeah. No, we are a disaster when it comes to dancing. So we'll see you next month. Have a great spring.
Come